Hey everyone, and welcome to my free CCNA Cisco Certified Network Associate course. If you have been following my videos, we have reached a level now that we need to understand the command line interface of the Cisco devices. But before we get into that, let's take a break today and let's download Packet Tracer. That is the free tool provided by Cisco wherein you can practice labs and is a great tool for simulating your network. You can download Packet Tracer. For downloading Packet Tracer, you can just search download Packet Tracer in your Google, and the first link that you get is Cisco Packet Tracer Network Simulating Tool. This is the Network Academy of Cisco, in which you'll find it. To download it, actually, you'll need to do two things. One is that you need to create an account. If you don't have an account in Cisco, you can create it by here. Go to login, and in case you don't have an account, you can create an account here on the sign up, or if you have an account, just you can log into the Cisco ID. As I said, this is a totally free application given by Cisco. Anyone can download it. So what you need to do is, in the resources section, there is a download Packet Tracer available. You can go to the download Packet Tracer, and for your operating system, below you can download it. If you have Windows, you can download Windows 64-bit or 32-bit. If you're using Ubuntu Linux or any other flavor of Linux, you can download the package for that here. I'll be downloading it for my Mac OS. So once you have downloaded the package, you can install the package. It's pretty straightforward. It's a guided setup. There's nothing much to be told about here. So once you have installed, you can open the Packet Tracer that you had just recently installed in a system. Again, you will get a login page that you need to use your Cisco ID to log into the system. You can use a guest login also, but in my case, I'm going to be using my Cisco login ID. So great, now you have logged into your Cisco Packet Tracer. So this is the space that you see when you log in. On the bottom left, you see the various network devices in hand that you can install. Network devices like routers, switches, hubs, wireless devices, security devices, WAN emulators, and then you have your endpoint devices like your PCs, laptops, or you have your home devices like your IoT devices like air conditioner, various other devices, your Bluetooth speakers, etc. Then you have your cables and connections, whether you want an automatic connection to be made, you want a console cable, you want a copper straight through, or a crossover cable. If you don't remember this, you can click on the information link above to know more about these cables. So what we'll do is we'll go into the physical, not the logical, but we'll go into the physical space. We'll select the home city, the corporate office that we have, and the main wiring closet that we are going to be using. And what we'll do is we'll add a new rack here. And in this rack, what we are going to do is we are going to place a couple of switches here. So let's place this switch here. Just click on the switch and then click on the add button here. So there are two things that I added here. One is the power distribution device, which is going to power the switch, and the other is the actual switch that is going to be installed in this rack. This is the front of the switch. You can zoom in and see this is the front of the switch, and on the bottom is the back pane of the switch. This is a Cisco 365024 PoE switch with two 10 gig ports, and all other are gig Ethernet ports. So this switch comes with two blank slots. These slots are for power supply. One is for primary and one is for secondary. So to power up the switch, we need to place this power supply in this slot. You can also go to CLI and see this. It says that device must be powered on for you to work in CLI, and it brings you back to the physical tab. So let's just plug this power supply into the switch. Once we plug the power supply into the switch turns on and we see the boot happening. Let's go back into the physical space. So you see that there is another slot there. We can place another power supply there, or like in a normal environment, what we can do is we can place a placeholder there, like provided in this simulation. So this is a great tool for simulating your stuff and all. So let's go back one. What we can do is we can move around our stuff. So let's place the power on the top, and let's place switch somewhere here. and let's place another switch below it. So now we have two switches here, both are same. So on the other switch also, let's place the power slot so that we can turn on the switch. Let's check the CLI. Yes, the switch is turning on now. Let the switch get turned on. Let me zoom a bit so that you can see it more clearly. We see the power rack here. The power rack has two cords now, one for each of the switches. So now if you remember from our cabling section, if we need to interconnect both the switches, let's choose a correct cable. To interconnect two switches, we need to use a proper crossover cable. But wait, these are gigabit ports, so even a straight through cable will work for us. So let's just plug in a straight through cable from port 1 to port 1 here. So now the link is going up. It's showing orange. Once it's green, that means it is up. It takes a bit of time to get up because STP is enabled. We'll learn about that, why it takes such a long time to get enabled in STP in the upcoming lessons. So now the ports are up. We can see the green on them. If we go to the CLI, we can see that line protocol on interface gigabit 1/0/1 is now changed to state up. So this 1/0 is the slot number and the 1 is the port number here. So let's just zoom out a bit now, and let's put all of this in a single frame so that we can work. And let's do one more thing. Let's just add a desk here. Yeah, so we'll add a desk here, and what we'll do is we'll put up laptop here with which we want to work. And again, in the laptop it's the same thing. So if you see that there is a port, but this Ethernet port is a fast Ethernet port. So you can change this fast Ethernet port to a gigabit Ethernet port. So this is a single gigabit Ethernet network port for the laptop. This module is supported by Cisco 2691, 3660, 3725. So again, this is a great simulation. So what you can do is you can pick up the port from here, drag it back to the module section, and it will be removed. But we get an error which says cannot remove a module when the power is on. Okay, so we can turn off the power of the laptop by click on the power button here. So now the power of the laptop is off. So let's remove this slot, drag it back here. The slot is gone. So now we can pick up a fresh slot that we want to place. Let's say we want to place this slot. So this slot has two fiber ports. So this is a fiber port, dual fiber port. So we can use this fiber port to connect to our switch on the rack. So let's go back into one of the switches and let's see if we have a fiber slot available there. So if you go to the rightmost section, there are 4 slots available. These are the SFP slots. So in here we can place these SFPs. So what are these SFPs? We can click one of them and read about it. So this is a 1000 base LXLH SFP, a gigabit Ethernet port for Cisco Industrial Ethernet and smart grid switches and routers. Okay, so we can drag and drop it on the slot here and we get a dual fiber SFP here. Let's see the other SFP. This is a 1000 base T, that is a copper based SFP. And the last one is also a copper based gigabit SFP. We can place it here. So in switches you can place the SFPs while the switches are on, and you can even remove them while the switch is on, as these slots are hot pluggable. Hot pluggable means that when the power is on you can add and you can remove. Once you add you'll see that you get a debug message that says that there is a module that has been inserted, and you get to know that the module is inserted in gigabit Ethernet 1/1/1 or 1/1/2. So 1/1 is the slot number. So the physical Ethernets are in slot 1/0 and these SFPs are in slot 1/1. As this is a simulation, so it's very easy to follow. You can go into config and you can see all these slots on the left here. As you go down, you'll see the SFP slots that will come up, which is gigabit 1/1, 1/2, 1/3, 1/4. So these are all the slots that you can see, and this is really helpful. You can even do some bit of the configuration here also, but I won't recommend you to use this because you want to learn how to use CLI. and you do not want to do a graphical configuration, because in the real world this graphical configuration will not be available, but right now in the lab when you're starting out, it's helpful that you can go through these. So now let's plug in our fiber port here. So again, in the connections we see there is a fiber port here. So let's plug in this fiber here, and we want to plug it in this switch here. So we see the cable that is going from the bench, which is placed next to the rack, to the fiber port on the switch. You can also work on the logical section here. Logical section is much easier. You can just simply drag and drop your switches, your routers, or any endpoint devices here. If you want, you can remove also your endpoint devices by clicking on the cross sign here. You want to create yes, and if you want to connect, this is in logical only. There's an automatic connection available, so you just need to select the automatic and click on it. So automatically a crossover cable has been selected and connected. This is showing in red because it is currently not powered on. So you can place your power on the switch here, and we'll wait for it to boot. Once the switch has booted, the light on the cable will change. The same way it was turning to orange and then to green, again the same thing will happen. So you can even collaborate with your other friends or partners by saving this file and sharing it with them. The file is in the form of pkt and it's very small in size. You can get the files from your friends, and you can use them. So this is a great tool. What I would recommend is that you interact with it, you try to drag drop, you try to create some network for yourself, and just play around a bit. You cannot break anything in this, as this is all simulation. And in next video what we'll do is we'll start interacting with the command line interface of the Cisco devices, and we'll see how to get started with the Cisco device. Thank you for watching today's video. Do let me know what you think about it. What are your comments? Did you like it, or do you want me to improve on something? Do let me know in the comment section below. Do like my video, and please do subscribe to my channel to get the latest updates. And until the next time,